morning, folks. How are you this morning? Listen, are you excited? Are you excited about Christmas? You gonna have a good time this Christmas? It's Christmas for families, isn't it? Eh? Yeah, it's supposed to be, but sometimes there's a lot of arguments in families. Did you notice that? Yep, all families are the same. As soon as they come together at Christmas time, there's normally a big row. Oh, you might say, we never row, our family never rows, we all get on well together. Rubbish! Every family has their rows. I've got 4 words written on a bit of paper here. Number 1 is God, number 2 is family, number 3 is work, number 4 is money. Now I put them in that priorities because you see, people get their priorities wrong. Other people put work before family. They put money before God, right? They wonder why they can't earn any money and yet they don't have God in their life. Every morning, every Sunday morning, I come on and do a sermon on different stuff. And today I'm talking about God, family, work and money. Okay? I want to first of all tell you about an email I got this morning. I just received an email and the guys said there's no effing work in this country because the immigrants are getting all the jobs. Right? No work because the immigrants are getting all the jobs. Let's talk about that for a minute. When I was a sheep shearer in the 1960s, I worked my butt off. Gee, I worked hard. And we went over to Australia and we were very unpopular. My mate and I went to Australia. We were very unpopular because we worked hard. We worked harder than the Aussies. And we got a job where the Aussies couldn't get a job because we worked harder. And I remember, because when you're in Australia or when you're away from home, you work harder, you see. And I remember when Dad was farming, Dad had a farm, and he used to moan about the Dutchmen all coming out to New Zealand. And because the Dutchmen come out and they worked like hell. They bought farms and dairy farms, they milked cows. They worked hard. And they got on the land. And my old man used to go crook about the foreigners coming over. And I got an email this morning, this guy said, no effing work in this country because of all the foreigners. Them are getting all the jobs, you see. We got the Filipino boys coming out here and laying all the cables for the chorus, you know, and all that. Ultra-fast broadband. They were good little workers. But you see, what happens is this. When you're in a strange country and you got no money, you have to work, and you work harder than you do in your own town. Let me tell you about me when I first came to the South Island. I was a sheep shearer, and a mate of mine said, Dad said to me, Ron, why don't you go down to the South Island for the winter, for shearing? And there's a bit of sheep shearing down there. So I went down, I bought a new car, and I hopped in, and I went down to the South Island, and I had no job. All I had was a handpiece and no job. But I knew one person in the South Island, his name was Murray McSkimming. I'd met him at the Golden Shears. Anyway, he had a big contracting business in Timaru, and I thought I'd head down there. I went across on the ferry from Littleton to Christchurch, and got in about 7 o'clock in the morning, and got in my car, and away I went. And I went into Christchurch, and I went to the Stock and Station Agency, National Mortgage, I think it was, and asked them for some. Did they know if there's any shearing in the South Island? And they said, "Oh yes, you better go to Ashburton. All the shearing is in Ashburton." So I went down to Ashburton. There's about an hour's drive, you see. And I went to the National Mortgage down there, and I said, "Have you got any work? I'm a sheep shearer. Have you got any work?" "Oh yeah," he said, how many can you do a day? And I said, oh, probably a couple of hundred. Oh, he said, not many people do 200 around here. I said, and how much is the pay? And they said, oh, £5 a hundred. £5 a hundred. No, it wasn't. It was £7.10 a hundred. That's right, because I was getting £5 a hundred in the North Island, on Godfrey Bowen country, and it was £7.10 in the South Island. That's right. And I could see over 200 a day. Anyway, he said, go across to the Devon Hotel and see Rusty Beatty. He's a shearer. So I went across there. And I said to the barman, is Rusty in the bar? And this little squeaky voice says, yeah, what do you want? And I said, listen, I'm looking for shearing. I'm a shearer and I want a job. What do you use? He says, do you use the blades or the queer gear? Well, I don't use the blades, so I must use the queer gear. He said, ring the mouse. Who's the mouse? So I rung this mouse, and his name was Bill Williamson. And his wife said, no, he's shearing at the moment, but you'll catch him at lunchtime. So I rang this fat mouse, Bill Williamson, at lunchtime, and he said, yeah, there's a job out here. We want a man here at the moment. When can you start? I said, as soon as I get some cones and cutters, I'll be right out. So I was shearing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I arrived in the South Island with no job. 7 o'clock in the morning. Knew one person in the South Island, he was way down in Central Target. And I was shearing at 2 o'clock that same day. And it's always been the same. I've never been unemployed yet. There's always work. No matter what you do, you can always get a job. There's 149,000 last count, there was 149,000 people unemployed, probably more now. They're unemployed because they don't want to bloody work. Now, just a minute. I've taught my kids to work. They're all good workers. I've got 4 children. I've got 2 daughters and 2 stepsons, and they're all very hard workers. And anyway, but some of them get their priorities wrong. For example, my wife turned 80 years of age a while ago, and we had a bit of a party for her. And my son, who's a very successful businessman, could not come to the party because he had to work. He owns a restaurant in Pleasant Point, and he got a very good business out there. And he said, I can't come to Mum's 80th birthday party because I'm working. I've got a big lot of people coming in for dinner, and I have to work. And I went crook. I went crook at him. I said, that's not on. I said, no work. You don't put work before family. Not often your mother becomes 80 years of age, and you should be at that gathering. But he didn't come. Didn't make any difference. Because he put money before work, before family. You see? And this is the problem with a lot of people. They get it all wrong. They put money and work before family and before God. Now, you've got to put God first in your life. If you haven't got God in your life, there's no use in working and making money because you'll only have a big mortgage and a lot of worries. Right? You've got to put God first. If you put God first, you'll never be short of work and never be short of money. So it's always God first, then family, then work, then money. All the arguments within families is all about money. Money and work. They get them in the wrong order. Okay? Number 1, God. Number 2, family. Put family before work. Put work before money. Okay? Because if you work, you won't have to worry about money. If you've got God in your life, you won't have to worry about money. God will provide the jobs for you. Okay? Just a minute. one of Margaret's nephews got married. And I'd known this young fella for a long time. We were great mates. I was friendly with Margaret's brother and his son, and we got on well. And when Mark was his name, and when Mark got married, he invited me to be the toastmaster, and I went along to the wedding, and I was the toastmaster, and we said all the nice things. But I felt uncomfortable, and so did Margaret, because Mark's mother wasn't there, you see, because her and her husband had a broken marriage, you see. And so this boy, his mother had done something to him, and he was that upset, he didn't invite his mother to the wedding. And I thought that was wrong, and real bad. And later on, they had a child, and they didn't even tell the mother. The boy didn't even tell his mother. Wouldn't even send a photo of them. And I went crook, and I said, this is not on. I said, you can have your broken marriages, that's fine, and don't speak to your mother, but you don't deprive a young little baby of not knowing who its grandmother was. And I've got into trouble, and there's three of those Margaret's relatives don't like me. Another boy, young fella, I rang him up and wished him a happy birthday. And he said, oh, thanks very much, but don't ever ring me again. You know? And that's not on, is it, eh? People get bitter. You say something wrong to them, upset them, and they're upset for life. And they're suffering. Because they're bitter. And they can't forgive. Yeah, it's bloody sad. Just a minute. My family's not happy with me at the moment because I'm telling my story online, and I'm telling the truth, and I'm getting the bloody skeletons out of the cupboard, and I'm bringing them out in the open, and I'm making it public, and I'm mentioning my family's names, and my family's going crook. Dad, you can't do that. They say I don't want to be mentioned. Don't mention my bloody name. Murray Miskimming, great mate of mine. Good guy. My brother-in-law. He's the one that introduced me to Margaret. Going crook. Wouldn't even shake my hand the other day because he was upset. Because I made a mistake. I mentioned one of his children's names. I said they were my grandchild. I made a mistake. They weren't my grandchild at all. They were she was my niece. My step niece. But how do you call someone a step niece? To me, she was my grandchild. That's how I felt about her. I love the girl. She's a lovely girl. But you see, Murray's that bitter. Margaret's brother, he's that bitter. He wouldn't even shake my hand. I'm lucky though, because I've got God in my life. God is number one in my life. I put God before my family. I put God before my work. I put God before money. I put God in my life. Because I've asked Jesus to come into my life and run my life. It's God that's running my life. Not the bloody devil. The devil's in too many lives. And you have to kick the devil out of your life. If you got the devil in your life, you have to kick him out and ask God into your life. And if that happens, then you'll put family first. Family's the most important after God. But you've got to have God first. Family comes number two. And you put family before work. Too many people put work and money before family. Family comes number two. God number one, family number two. Then work. You must work. If you don't work, you won't never make any money. So you put work before money. Some people put money before work, and they go out and they do jobs they don't like. So many people around the world working in jobs just because of the money. Wrong. You put work first. You do the job that you love doing. Write down a whole list of all the different occupations in the world. Tick them off. And there'll be one there that spins your wheels. One thing that you like doing. Mine is public speaking. I'm a bloody good public speaker. And I intend to travel the world telling these stories. Right? Because that's what I'm good at. I love public speaking. That's why I do these videos every morning. Because I love it. Right? And I do it to make money. I'll make money out of this. People come and invite me to come to their seminar and give a speech. And I'll make lots of money. But I'll do that because I put God first. Then my family. Then the work and the money will automatically come. I don't have to worry about money. I never worry about money. Because I've got God first in my life. And God will supply me the money. God will provide the jobs for me. He'll find the work for me. Hope you understand this. It's different, I know. And I'm going to get a growling from Murray, and I'm going to get a growling from Mark and from Stuart and all these other people that have that Margaret's relations that don't speak to me anymore. Okay? It's sad. And it shouldn't be that way. Should be able to get over things. People are going to hurt us. Yeah, we're going to hurt people. We're going to say the wrong things. I do it every day. And people get upset. But I love you all. I love people. And you've got to love people. And you can't love people unless you've got God in your heart. If you've got Satan in your heart, you've got the devil in your heart, you won't like people. And your attitude will be negative. Okay? Geez, I'm a growly bugger, aren't I? No, I'm not. And I'm mean, aren't I? Fancy bringing all those skimming families' names, telling them what they're doing to me. Don't care. They need a bloody good hiding. Kick up the bum. Mark. Stuart. What's that other boy's name? Dean. Hey, it's Christmas time. Put God first. Then family. Gus won't be at our, my oldest boy, he won't come and see us. Christmas Day, nah. He's too busy. He's probably working. Or he got his mother-in-law there. Angry I get. Sorry, mate. But you need a hiding. You need a bloody good kick up the bum. Hey, listen, but I love you. You're a bloody great guy. I'm proud of my sons. I'm proud of Gus. I'm proud of Michael. I'm proud of all the McSkimming family. They're great people. But they just need a telling off every now and again, and I'm only trying to help them. Don't forget, spread the word. It's Ronnie's Sunday Sermon. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.